It's the final game of the preseason. Do or die time for players to earn their spot and wear the star. Cowboys, Saints, Friday night at 6 on CBS Texas, your official Cowboy station.
Can the Dallas Cowboys go 3-0 for the first time since 2006 as the Cowboys are set to host the Saints for their final preseason game? It's your boy B Jizzle and my guy Bob the Cannabis Cowboy over there. How we doing today, Bob?
Good, man. That little intro, man, just reminded me. There's a few things I miss about Texas. Only a few.
Yeah.
That's one of them. The feeling when I finally moved there and sat down on my couch and was flipping through channels and just started noticing Cowboy shit everywhere, all the time. This is Austin, and even anywhere else in Texas is always like that. Just being able to see that coverage, see the news channels, all the truck commercials have a special Cowboys edition. Like, I really miss that, man. But not enough to go back. So
yeah, well, we got our final preseason game tonight, Bob, and camp competition has been heating up. We've got 8 players that we're going to be talking about from the DallasCowboys.com that are on the bubble to make the team, and you're going to be surprised. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and give a shout out to everybody on all of the channels here today. We're live on Built Different Group. Shout out to all of the Built Different Group supporters, all of the green badges. Without y'all, these shows don't happen. That's right.
Yeah,
if you got a green badge, like and share the video. Let's get more Cowboy fans involved. We got 8 players we're going to be talking about that are on the bubble for making this team. Not about going 3-0. We got 2s and 3s trying to make the squad. But shout out to everybody on LinkedIn, all my veterans over there on Military Creator Con. We'll be spinning the block for the Military Creator Con in May of 2027 out there in the Fort Worth Stockyards. And then shout out to all of the YouTube subs tapping in. We're live on 3 channels. It is the Big 2. You know, Kales has got some things going on. She'll be back with us on the post-game show. So it's the Big 2 tonight for the pregame show, and 8 players. Bob, can you name 8 players just right off the top that you think might be on this bubble?
I'm going to start with it when everyone's talking about Cam. So we'll talk about Cam right off the bat. Savon Revel, maybe? Nah, I think he's probably guaranteed a spot. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, dude.
Yeah.
It's
well, y'all let us know down in the comments below. Who do you think is on the bubble from getting cut? Because we got the hat plug in the building. Y'all, Big Val, Cowboys Life Family is going down. Y'all give it up for my guy, Big Val in the building from Cowboys Life Family. Shout out to the folks on YouTube. He says, I'm at the VA getting my heart looked at, thinking about smoking a blunt. Watching the game tonight. Hey, baby, you got to go out with a bang. You know what I mean? The Cowboys, Bob, could go 3-0 for the first time since 2006.
I read that comment and I was like, look, man, how about just get your heart looked at, bro? Hold off on the blunt until you get your heart looked at. Do me that favor, because you're scaring me right now.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to, you know, defer to my advice over there, my mentor. I would say that too as well. So, but especially thanks for tapping in, brothers. Good that you're there getting looked at instead of just saying, oh, fuck it, I'll just go later or something.
Get the blood tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, get it tomorrow. You're good.
Yeah. Blue and Maffa, definitely a couple of names that might be on this list of 8. We got a link up from DallasCowboys.com. We're going to be going over 8 players that are on the bubble as we get ready to kick off this game. Now, we went live a little early. We were supposed to be live at 4 p.m., but I hit Bob up and I said, look, man, I'm so excited about this game that this is go ahead and get it over with. You know, this has been probably the most exciting preseason for me that I could ever remember.
We can't forget some of the really, really good games we've had with the Saints too, obviously, and the most recent fight we've got in practice with them. So this is going to be, we could probably expect another, maybe just amazing people on their game and not fighting because of the $500,000 fine both teams got for fighting last time. So I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be, it's just hopefully should be by the numbers. And again, this is exactly what you're talking about. And exactly why I have evaluation week 3 under my name right now. This is exactly the game. There's been such good battles that not only on that list are we going to find Blue, probably we're going to find Camden, but we're probably going to find one of these quarterbacks too, man. And that's going to be crazy, man. I did not think it was heating up. If you asked me, and you did ask me 3 weeks ago who the lock was, it was Sam Howell. There's no way Joe Milton is going to outplay Sam Howell.
I'd had my money before we seen anything. I had my money on Sam Howell being a starter in the league. Boy, was we possibly both wrong. What up, Mike Rock? Star Gang Seattle in the building. Y'all stay tuned. He's going to be on episode 9 of Facebook Fanatic. Shout out to Marlon tapping in. He say, oh, they're going to be out there hitting tonight. I thought he said hating. They're going to be hitting. Yeah, they're going to be hating too. But they're going to be hitting tonight. You're right. They've been hitting on both of these preseason games. That's one thing that I've noticed is it looks like we know how to tackle in Dallas again. You know, you got to appreciate the basic things, right?
That's crazy.
Shout out to Megan with that green badge tapping in. We see you out there in the Fort Worth area. YouTube says they are not getting rid of Milton. No. I think QB2 Milton has got it like, but let's go ahead and let's get into the content. Per the DallasCowboys.com. I'll take this link. I'll place it down in the comments in case you watch this after the fact. Always know you got to use that hashtag replay. But 8 players. Bob, you said Camden was one, right?
I said Cam for sure. He's definitely in there. I didn't say Blue. That was L.A. Grant. But definitely Howell or you know what? I think it's Howell, man. If I'm being honest, I mean,
what if I told you Howell was not on this list, but Anthony Smith, the wide receiver, is 7th round pick out of this year of the seasons or of the 7 players in this 2026 draft class. Smith appears to be the only on for now that isn't a lock to make it. Damn, I can't read today. And it's not just because he hasn't performed well, but undrafted rookie Camden Brown has been better, especially in the preseason game. So Anthony Smith is one. Yeah, we haven't heard anything from Anthony Smith because why? It's been all, I don't know what's going on my show today. It's been all Camden Brown and all these other wide receivers, right? So Anthony Smith, damn, I don't know what's going on with the.
No, it does that every time you switch. It does.
Okay.
It does the pop up.
Thank you.
It does the
Thank you.
pop up.
I'm glad you can confirm over there, man, because I don't want people to think I'm losing or I'm super high over here or something. Like none of my shit working and I can't read today. But Anthony Smith is on that list. One of the wide receivers we have heard no plays about. But Bob, I can guarantee you that Camden is not. Camden Brown is not on this list. But Anthony Smith is. He's one of the 8, and we got 7 more to go through. So let us know down in the comments below. What other players do you think are on the bubble tonight?
And shout out to Mike Rock real quick. I want to show you. I'm on currently on a 128-week streak right now with my gym because I was watching Mike Rock a couple years ago grind every damn day, making me look lazy and feel lazy. So shout out to Mike Rock. Thank you so much for throwing me. You're definitely one of the reasons why I'm in the gym right now.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah. Got her reps in out there. YouTube says, I knew you was high. And look at that. What is going on? Well, Bob, are you there? What happened? Yeah, I think Bob just disappeared. Bob fell off. I don't know. Something's going on, man. But anyway, stay tuned. We still here. Big Val is in the building. Shout out to Sarah. Yeah, it's Friday, definitely. But let's go on and get back to the content while we wait on my guy Bob to get back into the show. I don't know what's going on with the handles over here on StreamYard. Must be a lot of folks using StreamYard. But Anthony Smith, wide receiver, first player on the bubble. Let's go on to player 2. Without looking at his name, can anybody name this player without looking at the name on the screen? Can anybody name who this player is right now? Johnny Cornelius, right? Offensive lineman, 6th round, right? Having played both guard and tackle during training camp, Cornelius has shown some versatility, which is always a great trait for backup linemen. While will it be enough to make the team for a second season? We'll soon find out, but Cornelius might not get the chance to play another game in the preseason, considering he's been out the last few practices with an injury. So there's your offensive lineman. I remember before we got into camp, there was supposed to be this big battle between Nate Thomas and Tyler Guyton, and nothing. I mean, it's been pretty much Tyler Guyton been taking care of business, right? Well, this is one of the offensive linemen that's on the bubble. Let's go on to get to player number 3. If you're just tapping in, let us know where you're watching from, baby. We're going through these 8 players on DallasCowboys.com that are on the bubble to make the squad. Let's go on to player 3. Now, this one was the most surprising for me. Jay Toya, defensive tackle, 7th round in 2025. I thought this kid was going to come in and, do some damage in the trenches. But not so much, right? Especially after that Micah Parsons trade, right? Defensive tackle says while he made the team as a rookie last year, Toya finds himself in much tougher situations surrounded by even better defensive tackles. Think about when Toya was drafted back in April 2025. None of the top players in the defensive tackle room were even here, including Kenny Clark, right? Since then, the Cowboys have added Quentin Williams, Jonathan Bullard, Otto Ogbonnia, and LT Overton. So Jay Toya is the third player on the cut list. And I don't know what happened to Bob. Bob just fell off. I thought it was me. But anyway, that's the third player that is on the list. You know, the Cowboys are playing the Saints tonight, the first preseason game at home, getting ready to open up for the season. How many of y'all are ready to be done? Because after tonight, on Sunday, we're going to learn who is going to make this 53-man roster. There's a lot of competition that are going on, and we're going on these 8 players per DallasCowboys.com that are on the bubble. So let us know, who do you think one of the other 5 players are remaining on the board? Facebook, are you out there? We see you. We see YouTube is heavy in the chat tonight. Yeah, that's what's up, baby. In the gym. YouTube heavy in the gym tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Charger fan even tapping in. What up, Boat Nation or Boat Gang? Says, hey, BG and Bob. The beard, love that beard you got going, Bob, and Build Different, baby. Yeah, it's Beard Gang over here. But Jay Toya, the defensive tackle who drafted in 2025, right? On the bubble, yet Anthony Smith. Wide receiver, top 3. Then you had Johnny Cornelius, offensive lineman. So 1 wide receiver, 1 offensive lineman, 1 defensive tackle. Let's look at the 4th player on the list. Man, this one right here, yeah. I think Bob was right. I think he did say Phil Maffa. Let me make sure he's not texting me. Oh, he had to restart his PC. Okay, got the text. All right. I thought I was losing. I'm like, man, you know, what's really going on? But Phil Maffa on this list is a little surprising. Not because he scored a touchdown in that last game, but, you know, Phil Maffa haven't had that many chances to get them reps. You know, Phil Maffa was battling that injury, right? But let's take a look at what the Cowboys got to say about Phil Maffa. One of the more intriguing roster battles on this team at running back. When Maffa has been much better than he has the last year as a rookie, still he's not the only back trying to make this last few spots, right? You got Jaden Blue, 2 rounds higher than Maffa, will probably make this team. They saying Jaden Blue's pretty much a lock. I don't know about Malik Davis, right? But the big question, Mark, likely comes down to Maffa and Malik Davis, a steady veteran back who has shined again this year. So that's going to be a battle back there tonight. I don't know who we're going to see as a quarterback in that first half, but we're probably going to stagger it. We might see Sam Howell first half, Joe Milton second half. I don't know. Maybe we don't see any Joe Milton tonight. Maybe we only see Sam Howell. Maybe Sam Howell might be auditioning now that maybe QB2 is on lock. But Phil Maffa is not a lock in this backfield, y'all, and he is the 4th out of 8 players that are on this bubble list per the DallasCowboys.com. Mike Rock says, I love that, sir. Hell yeah, Bob. Still on my reps as well. Yeah, he's talking about getting motivated from Big Mike Rock in the gym. Jersey Mike in the building. What up, Sterling? We see you tapping in with that green badge. Appreciate you tapping in. Ready. What up, Marion Shelton? Appreciate you tapping in. Caitlin with the context tapping in from Corpus. Make a break time for some players tonight. Almost time for the real deal. I'm excited, man, because on Sunday at 3 p.m. right here at Built Different Group, once my guy Bob gets his computer restarted and my girl Kels comes back tonight from her commitment, we're going to talk about the 53-man roster on Sunday. That's right. We're going to examine it at 3 p.m. on Sunday. So stay tuned. Yeah, you did. You did say Maffa. You said Blue and Maffa. I did see that when you put it up. Shout out to YouTube getting in on the engagement here this morning. I think we got Bob back in the building.
Sorry about that. That was crazy. All right, my bad. Let's go. What do we got? What about Maffa in here?
Bro, man, look. I see, here we go again. Here we go again. I don't know why it does that.
They're trying to get us today some way. It's not going to happen.
I don't know what it is. But when you left me, I say, he's fucking with me. He's really trying to he's really trying to make me think I'm on some shit over here today. But yeah, Phil Maffa is the 4th player, Bob. We also went over defensive tackle who was drafted last year. He's on the bubble now because of that Micah Parsons trade. So both Jay Toya and now Phil Maffa in his backfield makes the first 4 players.
These aren't names that we probably hear a whole hell of a lot, but the fact that they're in competition right now is the reason why we talked about Maffa right when he got drafted pretty much. I know that. we were talking about him sort of being the bruiser guy.
Right.
But again, man, it's just like, and I talked about this a couple times this year. It's just like the tight end position in our team. If you're an RB2 or an RB3, you're pretty much lost, even though this game, you pretty much need to have two running backs of a different caliber, or at least at different speeds. It's just a smart thing to do. Maffa's going to be the odd man out because if we carry a fullback, that's just going to have to be the way it is. And I don't know, man. I'm still not convinced Blue's the guy, man. If I'm being honest, I haven't seen anything from Blue.
I think because of the change of his attitude and coming back and not having any issues, you know what I mean? Since then, I think he's answered the call that they were looking for him, that maybe he didn't get those reps last year. Maybe that might be solidifying him, but it's been a ton of competition. And I know Phil Maffa he made it more interesting last week because he scored that touchdown toward the end of the game. And I knew, it's going to come down to a tight one. And then how many are we going to carry? Because we don't even know how many wide receivers we're going to carry. And that's going to be the trick, is how many of what unit that we're going to have to break that down on the 53-man roster show on Sunday. But yeah, Phil Maffa definitely on there. I think Davis, I don't know, man. Somebody got to go to the practice squad.
You know, being coachable is a pretty big skill set. People don't talk about that. That's not something that you quantify or there's numbers about. If you're a coachable guy, and it's what you're leading me to believe is that Blue has turned around and become this guy who's all of a sudden coachable, then that's a good thing. You know, it's really hard to hold on to a guy who's got okay talent that's not coachable. You definitely are going to wind up cutting that dude. But you know, the running back is something it's an important position, man. And again, it's not really. It sort of makes sense that Muff is on that bubble, man, if I'm being honest. He just doesn't look better than the other guys. And on top of it, he scored that like the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter of a preseason game. So, you know, that's all he's pretty much shown. But Malik is running it, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see a lot of Abakananda, or whatever, however you say his name. I know Kales had posted the game notes on Built Different Group. So if you follow us on Built Different Group, Kale's already posted the game notes and, you know, some other details there for the game tonight. She's not here with us on the pregame show, but she will be here on the post-game show. But let's go ahead and let's slide it over to the 5th player out of 8. These are the big top 8 on the bubble tonight in New Orleans. And Maris Leofau. You know, there was talk about Maris Leofau already being on the bubble, I think, before we even got to this level of the preseason, to be honest.
Yeah, and he was one of those guys I like watching play. Again, he's got that long hair that makes it look like he's always moving and crazy fast on the field. But he's made some hits. He's done some things. But again, the reason why this position all of a sudden is, and we're able to cut somebody if it does happen, is because we've finally got a lot of really good depth in that position. We talk about it for a while. Who is going to be the next Sean Lee? And it doesn't look like we're going to do that anymore. It looks like, at the very least, try and have a committee of really good linebackers and folks that can rush the passer moving forward, because the game is evolving. And if our teams aren't evolving, our coaches aren't evolving with it, then we're just going to be left behind. So it kind of makes sense.
Well, let's just take a look at what the young man had to say when asked about the veteran impact of Von Miller showing up the Cowboys.
I know he's a player, but he seems like he's been tutoring a lot of guys. Yeah. Like you're talking about what he brought to the room.
Yeah. I mean, the guy like that, he's like another coach in the room. So it's such a blessing to have him. And he's really just since the first day he came, he's just been pouring into us and helping us and pretty much just giving us his insight on every single thing that he can. In the meeting room, he's nonstop talking and helping us out. Obviously on the field, before practice, getting ready to practice and working on different things. So he's been super helpful to us.
Super helpful. Sounds great. I mean, we knew we were going to get that with Von Miller coming in as a veteran linebacker. I mean, a Super Bowl winner, played with multiple teams, played at a high level. Bob, he said he could literally just roll out of bed and get 8 sacks.
He could.
I mean, he had 8.5, I think, last season with the Commanders.
Yeah, and they obviously weren't starting him in many games. He's a coach that you want on the field. He's not so old to the point where he's not going to make plays like we just said. I mean, on top of that, he's going to be moving on the fly. These kids are going to be able to start seeing a Hall of Fame linebacker in the flesh playing in front of them every time he's on the field, man. That's not something that everyone gets. And he does make everybody around him better, dude. You better believe that, man. He's one of those guys, just like DeMarcus Ware was.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because I know when it comes to Maris Leofow, special teams might be the savior because, a lot of these receivers, a lot of these guys on the depth chart, that are on this bubble, which I'm thinking maybe the Cowboys are signaling to us on this article that maybe we're going to see some of these players tonight. Well, with the exception of Johnny Cornelius, because, what they had said, but maybe we're going to see a little bit more of Maris Leofow. I'd be interested to see what happens with him, but y'all let us know down in the comments below. Are we going to see a little bit more of Maris Leofow? Is he going to make this 53-man roster? I'm telling you, I've not been this excited to look forward to break down a roster than I can remember, Bob. It's like we don't just talk about the ones anymore. We're talking about the twos and the threes in the depth,
It's been a while. And that's what every team wants. Every team wants you to have depth so that if something isn't working out, you can put another guy in, or at the very least, if someone's tired, you can throw another person in that position and not lose a step. And, I go back to like Rolando McClain years when we just started doing that really like piecemeal defense where it was picking up a bunch of guys for 1 year, throwing them on the defense and seeing how well they did. Rolando McClain was one of those guys that did well. Brady James, we're going back a long time to where we're looking at multiple different good linebackers on our team at the same time. Not when Sean Lee was there all the time, and not when LVE was there, because LVE had sparse games.
He was
hurt all the damn time. So those were the two of the sort of prototypical looking linebackers, hitting kind of linebackers. But the game is evolving to a point now where we're starting to see different sizes of people in that position. But Jayshawn Barham is a freaking monster. I mean, I've sent some videos to you of people breaking him down, dude. It's been really impressive. And it's funny because I bet most of the Cowboys fans are doing that. They're sending these videos to each other quietly instead of posting them up. We're so jaded by all these great teams we had, and we don't want to jump on the bandwagon like the ESPN and NFL Network and everyone's talking about how we are the only ceiling is the Super Bowl. We're still trying to remain realistic about this team, and it's hard. It's getting hard because they're putting a lot of good shit together, including the linebacker core, man.
Yeah, I think the jury still might be out on Bam Bam Barham, though, because I remember some folks in our fan base, Bob, were calling this guy Taco 2.0 because of the whole Michigan affiliation. And I think, that Michigan affiliation is going to be attached to him until he probably breaks, a big tackle for loss and some big sacks this season or something. But could you imagine that all our rookies on hit on the defense? We're talking about Caleb Downs.
I mean, it's not like Michigan players
talking about Bam
everywhere.
Bam Barham, right? Imagine the Dallas Cowboys hitting on all of their picks. But you had some concerns coming into this season, Bob, when it came to the secondary.
Cornerback.
Can you name which defensive back might be at number 6, Bob?
I mean, so we've got to go all the way down to the 5th and 6th cornerbacks, and I don't know, man.
Let me help you out here. Let's just cut it to prime time 21. When they gave him this number, I was just like, man, I don't know about this one.
That's pressure.
Yeah, I was like, maybe the kid had some good ceiling, but to give him the guy the prime time number, man, some folks are saying, man, once they cut Kalen Carson, they need to go on and give 21 to Caleb Downs. That's what I've been hearing. But Kalen Carson is on the list. Another player who could use a big game Friday night. When Carson was a rookie, he actually played well enough to earn a starting spot. But after some untimely injuries, Carson has never returned to form that we saw early on. Still, he's made occasional plays, both in practice games, and there's always that hope that he'll find his groove again, rather. Since the Cowboys are still looking for that 4th corner, Carson still has a shot at making the team. But I'm not surprised by this one. And it's mainly guys. This thing, they set him up for failure when they gave him that number.
Well, the thing is he started off okay and got hurt, and he's just struggling to get back to okay. Come on, how many times did he get burnt? Right? How many times have you heard that guy's name get burnt? And then not only that, in the 2nd or 3rd preseason game, he gave 2 PIs, 2 fouls that on 3rd down. That it's just one of those things. But you
didn't help his campaign.
No, man. If you're going to cut somebody for fumbling a punt return, you should probably get rid of somebody who's doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some of these DBs are going to have to get cut. There's going to be some of these folks, 91, we got to cut it down to 53. Mike Rock says, seatbelt gone. Yeah, because, everybody doing all this and doing all that. But shout out to Larry Stroud. He says, I think Milton is QB2. No, I think he is. A lot of folks think he is, but Will the Cowboys start Howell first half, and will we see Milton second, or will it be more Howell this game for an audition? More so will the Cowboys keep 3 quarterbacks. But I think after seeing Milton last year and Milton this year, I was expecting Milton from last year and maybe not as much progress this year, while I kind of play Sam Howell as a starter over him. But, man, his development has not only, been in, off the field, but now we've seen it on the field.
It was crazy to hear in that Seattle preseason game, because it was a Seattle production, a Seattle broadcast. We talked about that. It was they at one point they were no longer able to say this guy has only a big arm. They were starting to say this guy's got accuracy now. He's actually throwing the ball with a little bit of touch. And it was one of those weird things where I was saying to myself, yeah, because that's all we kept saying about him last year was if he could just be a little bit more accurate, not overthrow, not underthrow, not try and rip somebody's freaking hands off their fucking body. He's doing some of those things, and he did some of those things. That pass he threw to Mingo, you had to have touch. He did bomb it, but you still have to have touch on that kind of play. And he did, man. He dropped it right in the bucket. So it's really crazy that it's been exciting watching preseason football because of a QB2 battle.
I'm telling you, bro. I knew coming in the QB2 battle was what I was going to focus on, but I've got some extended play here. We're going to listen to a couple of clips here from Joe Milton. Now that everybody seems to think, maybe the Cowboys seem to think, maybe there's not much adjusting going on this 53-man roster. Maybe they're only looking at a handful. But let's see what the Rocket or Bazooka had to say with the media.
That game for you in Arizona in terms of just quarterback battle, just your confidence and that kind of thing.
Sure, the game was great. It's always an opportunity every time my name is called just to go out there and showcase what I have and what I've been working on. So that's what I was looking forward to do, and that's what I did.
How different is year 2 in this system versus year 1 for you?
A big difference. I made a huge jump in my stride of just offense, getting closer with everyone on the team, but also just my development at quarterback. Me understanding myself more, just doing self evals, just being able to understand that when I'm in a great base, I'm able to deliver the ball however I want to. Whenever my base is bad, they kind of come out, however. So you got to have a great base at all times.
Man, for years, Bob, we never had to worry about QB2 because Cooper Rush was the main dude, right? Like the most prominent QB2 probably across the league, right? Who went on to Baltimore, and I don't even know if he's there anymore now. But I mean, how does it feel now to see not only our QB2 progressing, but in the event that if Dak going to his 11th year, the injury bug is often undefeated, and it happens at the most untimely manner. But it's good to hear him saying he's confident in his game, is showing up on the field, especially with that development of Camden Brown. But you got to feel good about this QB2 in case something happens with Dak Prescott, right, Bob?
For sure. And, we've we've always really held that position pretty high because we've had some prolific quarterbacks in our team for many years. I remember Randall Cunningham and Rodney Peete being part of the squad, QBT for this team. We've had a lot of people that they want to make sure to jump into a game if anything bad happens to a starting quarterback. And it's really crazy to see this going on right now because honestly, just with the background that Sam Howell has versus the background.
Hey, you don't think Joe Milton been paying attention? He like,
right.
Okay, I hear you talking. I hear y'all talking over there at BG. Okay, I got something for y'all. Yeah, I got something for y'all.
Tomas, thanks for the compliment for the beard, man. I started growing it in 2015. I was at a Dallas Cowboys Miami Dolphins game in Miami, and I said, if Romo wins this game for us, I won't shave for a year because I didn't think he would do it, and he did, and the rest is history.
Well, let's keep the train moving on the top 8 players the Cowboys are looking to cut. And this next one, man, I'm going to tell you, if you've really been paying attention, this next one is going to throw you for a loop because we were hearing this name might possibly take a starter's job, and it's in the trenches, and it's none other than who? Nate Thomas, offensive lineman?
Yeah, that's the only reason that seems crazy is because we keep hearing about our left tackle and right tackle not really being locked down. It's just one of Tyler and Steele over there on the right side. It's a weird thing to have to cut an offensive lineman. If I'm being honest, you would think that you'd want as many people in that position as you can, but
yeah,
This is all coming down to what they already know what their numbers are going to be, how many quarterbacks, running backs, and all that stuff. They know that, or they're going to know that.
Well, let's see what they had to say. Let's see what they had to say, Bob. They say this is one player who has arguably done enough to make the roster. A relatively young player with a lot of upside. Thomas has played both left and right tackle during the preseason. Is likely to be swing tackle right now. The only reason that wouldn't happen is if the Cowboys decide to upgrade the position from the outside. Even then, it seems Thomas is relatively safe, but at such a premium position, nothing is a guaranteed at this point. And I'm like, wow, Nate Thomas, because I remember coming in, Bob, we was hearing about Nate Thomas and maybe he might take Tyler Guyton's job.
Yeah, he was looking good, man. But, it might not be a situation, again, where he doesn't look good. That's probably not the situation. The situation is other people look better. And, again, that numbers game that we've got to play where he might drop to a practice squad situation or they might stash him somewhere or hide him somewhere when they really want him. I mean, all these names that we hear, if Dallas really wants these guys that they have to unfortunately cut, we can find a way to retain them after they get cut. So, but, it does make for really, really fun, evaluative games that we are watching because, again, I'm glad we're talking like this because a lot of people put a lot of stock into whether these games, wins or losses, don't really matter in preseason. It's cool to see us win convincingly, but at the same time, you want to see the players win. You want to see them win plays. You want to see them win situations. That's what we're looking for in the preseason right now. So this whole thing is evaluation. And today's the last day of a really, really good preseason and training camp, man. So it's going to be an exciting game, I think, man. No, I will not cut my beard. My mom keeps asking me to do it. She says, "You look like you're so much older, Robert." No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not going to happen.
All right, now don't be jumping in the comments. Somebody, is you streaming the game? Come on, man. SO 2016. Here are the ways that you can watch the game on ESPN, Fubo if you got a subscription, NFL Plus, and on YouTube TV subscription. So that is how you can watch the game tonight. It's going to be off in some markets, but you got to have that NFL Plus, man. I think that was probably the best decision by the NFL. They're going to have their own streaming platform. They're probably just going to work everybody out as we see a lot of these platforms are, they're not getting games for the whole season. It's pick or choose. Peacock, you know what I mean? These other,
NFL Plus
channels and stuff like that.
They're not playing every game of the season on NFL Plus, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, why the hell would I pay $400 to direct?
No. They only play some games too as well. And some of them, it's tricky there too because you're like, oh, you get all of them, but not when it comes to the Cowboys. Why? Because the Cowboys are always in the main markets. But let's get back to this. Go ahead.
If I'm being honest, I think if you don't already have a carrier where you could watch NFL Network and some of these other networks, then you can't even get that app and watch it. I think you still need a cable carrier in order to use their app.
Yeah. So great point, because I know you've been fighting over there, especially with Comcast and NFL Network and all of that stuff. They're still trying to get this rehashed because it's going to be between the haves and the have-nots. But that's a big reason why we built different group. We created this group so that way fans would know and not have to look for information. It could come to one source and get it. And so if you're tuning in today and you're happy that the Cowboys could go 3-0 for the first time since 2006. I mean, it just seems like things are it's a scary territory, Bob, for Cowboy fans. We haven't made the playoffs in 2 years in a row. And now we got this new culture. We got this whole packed out squad, which by the day it looks better for the Michael Parsons trade. For every day that continues to go by, it looks like the Cowboys and Jerry Jones' grin just keeps getting bigger. Like,
we've had.
Are we gonna self-sabotage ourselves? Like, this can't happen to us. This is too good to be true.
We've had some great teams in the past, and we've gone to the postseason with them and lost. The big question that's really impossible to answer right now, truthfully, is this: what is different this year that's different from the last 10 or 15 years where we've had Des Bryant and Dak on the same team? We've had all kinds of really killer players, and we've gone to the postseason, and we just haven't been able to do it. Like, what is different now? I don't know the answer to that.
That's a great question. Let us know in the comments below. That's a great question, Bob. What is different? Because I'll tell you what my different is. I think Jerry has finally got out of his fucking way.
I feel a little bit of that, my friend. I felt it with Brian Schottenheimer, because he doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy who wants control of every freaking thing. But if he is, his public persona will not tell you that. And what I feel is his public persona is pretty close to who he really is, because this team really plays for this guy.
Yeah,
So,
you see he's in the new HEB commercials and all of this stuff. You know what I mean?
He doesn't seem like a puppet. He doesn't seem like a puppet. It seems like Jerry's like, all right, here's the deal. We're just going to hire these guys, and I'm going to sit down here and have a cigar. And then you let everybody else do their damn job. That's what I'm hoping is going on, because we need that. I think maybe he's saying, maybe I just have to step back and STFU and do what I need to do and let, you know, my sons do what they're supposed to do and see if we can't get this team to the postseason. I mean, that's
man. Speaking of which, if you have not seen the new HEB commercial, if you did not hear, the Cowboys have signed a multi-year deal sponsorship with HEB. This is the new HEB commercial. Pay attention. It goes quick, but man, they packaged this very well. This I don't know how many times I watched this, maybe about 50, 11. Y'all listen in.
Guys, we got Cowboy Burger. Yeah. We got Cowboy Cookies. Yeah. We got Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. Cheesesteak egg rolls. Yeah.
I like the coverage, bro.
He said, I like the coverage, Rook. I mean, wasn't that genius? I mean, that's shoddy, though. After every game, we see him doing that in the locker room, right? He's going through the list of highlights, and he's getting everybody pumped, and it's kind of like a production brief of like what just took place on the field. Now, we used to see Jason Garrett do that type of thing, but man, not with as much energy as shoddy. And I think you hit it right on the head. It's the shoddy representation of authenticity.
Yeah,
I said that right.
It's one of the, you know, look, somebody has to become a good head coach, right? I don't think you can be an assistant and just be a great head coach. You have to give somebody a shot to do that. And he's taking advantage of his shot right now. He's doing great stuff with this offense. A lot of people are wondering what he's going to bring, because it turns out he's mixed up about 25% of our offense to be different than it was last year, because you've got to continue to evolve. But I mean, I just feel overall that the mindset is different now. It doesn't necessarily feel like a hard nose, like win or you know, like a hard nosed football team. But I think we're playing intelligent and fast right now. That includes with our minds. So that could be one of the other things, man.
Well, here we are at player number 8, and man, he's been hanging around. I thought he was going to have a big season last year, but no, I think he got injured or something happened. He didn't get played as much. Well, I remember we had the worst defense in the league, 511 points. But here is your 8th player on the bubble per the Cowboys, Big Sam Williams, offensive linebacker.
There you
go. That linebacker core, man, with, you know, there's been a lot of competition in all of the position groups basically at camp. It hadn't been just one or two position groups, Bob.
We've been talking about this guy for a long time, though. Let's be honest, man. He's been on the bubble for a while. What is he going to do? Some things? Is he going to show out? He always makes like a couple decent plays, but he's been getting worse over the years. And so I don't know. It's tough. It's tough with Sam, because I feel like he's definitely a Cowboy. He wants to do well. He just doesn't play as well as he should. Well,
here's what the Cowboys had to say. Probably the most accomplished player on this list and most veteran of the group, Williams hasn't fully locked up his spot as well. The addition of Von Miller, it don't help when Von shows up, right? A few weeks ago has crowded the pass rushing room even more. Could Williams be the odd man? Perhaps James Houston. Williams does provide some unique special teams ability with his history of blocking kicks. He's got burst and quickness that is rare from pass rushers. But will this be enough in the end? The fact Williams was playing in the fourth quarter of last week's game in Arizona is reason enough, rather, to believe he's still fighting for a spot. And that's a good point right there, because I didn't even catch that like Dez. But, boy, Sam Williams on this bubble. I mean, Von Miller coming in here. We heard Maris Leofeld talking about what his impact is as a veteran. That's got to feel good that you can just bring a guy in for maybe less than 40 snaps and get 9 sacks in a year, if he stays healthy.
Yeah, we do have a good little mixture of young and veteran right now. That's kind of a good balance we've struck, or the team has struck, because they're the one putting this thing together. That's what you want, man. You want just a good amount of veteran to rookie ratio, or a veteran to young kid ratio, so that everybody's trying hard. Everyone's holding each other accountable. And that's really kind of what I feel right now, man. I feel like, especially with the way we've been running for really no reason at the end of practices and doing sprints and shit, like, there's something going on where they want to do extra to be extra in some way, and to show extra on the field, man.
Yeah, Mike Rock said, Sam been falling off. Sad to see. I think he got a point. Shout out to Sterling. Thank you for those 100 stars. We appreciate our green badges supporting the content. Thank you, Mike Rock. We see you tapping in. But Sarah's tapping in also says this team seems more connected. Shotty is the man, and Jerry finally back to championship mentality. Hey, man, when I seen Jerry in Seattle, you know, I met him on the field, and I just told him, I said, hey, Jerry, love what you're doing. I was really kind of struck. I was like, oh, shit, this is Jerry. Like, I didn't expect, because I turned around, and he was right there, and I caught him. Wasn't no time to do no video, do no pregame show, nothing like that. I was like, hey, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it. He shook me on my elbow, like, yeah. And then the next day, we got Von Miller. Yeah, championship mentality might be back, because we've always heard the Cowboys say they're open for business, but even after Von, they're still saying we're open for business.
Yeah, and I'm hearing what's his name? One of the Steelers that's having a contract issue. If they attach every free agent to the Dallas Cowboys.
Kels brought that up. Kels brought that up. She said that they may be still going to get one more defensive player, which is that secondary, the guy to play secondary on the Steelers. Yeah. I bet you should ask your brother. I bet he would know about that.
Yeah, he's that guy's he's a pedigree. He's the son of a badass Pittsburgh linebacker, isn't he? I don't know why I can't remember his name, but his dad was a bad boy.
JP, something like, oh man, what's his name? Let me go. I'm gonna Google it up. But somebody put it in the comments if you know it.
That's one of the things where if that's what we're gonna, if we go after any other position right now in terms of trading away future draft picks for somebody who wants to get out of a contract situation on their team that can still provide, we need to do it at a quarterback. We need to be
Joey Porter Jr.
There we go. And we know how badass Joey Porter was.
Man, could you imagine if the Cowboys were to pull some JPJ shit off, bro? After Von Miller, like, bro, Doomsday 3.0, like, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Like, could we go from the worst defensive team in the league to the first? Imagine, man, Christian Parker wouldn't even be the offensive coordinator. He gonna be a damn head coach somewhere after. I mean, they're gonna have to lock. Like, you thought we lock Will McClay down, we'll have to lock CP down.
Yeah, and that's another scary thing, because we kind of felt that same way about Dan Quinn, man. And that's exactly what happened. Quinn eventually, not the next year, but eventually took a lot of people with him too when he did it. But yeah, man, I think Porter is definitely a connection. I feel like this, I'm not happy with our cornerbacks right now. I'm not safe. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like, okay, we got this.
Hey, I've been hearing that there might be some starters that wouldn't start in here last year on this defensive side of the ball. And I think this camp and this preseason games and all of this, we're not seeing any ones, but once we get into week one, I wouldn't be surprised if, we got a starter in the secondary. He's starting on first year here. Like, what's his name? Kobe Durant. Is that his name?
Yeah, we got a Kobe Durant from the Rams.
They're saying Kobe Durant might be the starter back there. So it's going to be interesting that you've had that focus. I've had to focus on the quarterback issue, but who's going to play the first half? Who's going to play the second half? Or do we not see Joe Milton and we see a lot of Sam Howell? The one thing is that the players that they've already figured out they got on this roster and the few that they're trying to look at tonight, Bob, the rest of these guys are basically auditioning for 31 other teams.
Exactly. I was going to just say that. Another amazing brain connection we've got going on. Because, again, if we start having some of these players that are looking very good but just not going to fit our team or can't afford them or whatever, the numbers aren't working out, they can still be used to be traded, man. And there's room to do those kinds of things right now. I don't know really contractually who's available for that kind of movement, but there's people that are available for that kind of movement right now. So if it turns out that we need to trade with the Steelers for somebody, giving up somebody is probably not going to be a problem for us. And throwing a couple of draft picks in there is not going to be a problem, especially if we think that's going to set us over the edge.
Well, as we round down the show here to close out, many folks may have not have heard from our new rook here, Bam Bam Barham, but we got a few clips here that we can take a listen here as he was interviewed via the Star and the media. Let's listen in.
Camp's been good. Can't complain. Just again working with the team, so it feels good to be out there.
They obviously trust you with a lot of different responsibilities. Just to have that trust as a rookie, what does it mean to you? How do you feel like you're doing with that?
I feel like it means a lot, but I still got a lot of work to put in. So I'm just trying to get better every day, trusting the coaches, trusting my teammates. I mean, it feels normal. I did it in college, so it's just a step up in the NFL, just having to call plays, demanding the defense. So just getting used to it.
How tough was it being out that week? You had such a good start to camp, and you get the injury,
yeah,
and having to wait.
Uh-huh.
How tough was that, having to wait, not be able to practice, and finally get to show stuff in Phoenix?
Man, I don't know. I almost couldn't do it. I was trying to get out there to play Seattle, but they told me wait. But it felt good, though. I was a little tired, but trying to get my win back, be able to play a lot more.
This guy was the green dot in the game that he showed up in, and right off the bat, Bob had 2 tackles for loss. I mean, imagine a rook running the green dot. I mean, there's been talks about Caleb running the green dot. Like, that's going to be interesting too, only amongst the 53-man roster, but who is going to be the green dot leader of this defense?
That dude looks like Ray Lewis. He looks, that man, I don't know if I've seen him smile.
They're calling him Predator. They're calling him Predator. They're saying Ray Lewis 2.0.
Oh.
I'll be even hearing that this guy says he hates every team he plays equal.
Yes.
I hate everybody.
Yeah, I heard that. Do you like
that's better than Mozzie, though. Remember what Mozzie said? I don't even like playing football. I just like hitting people.
Yeah, that's not cool. I mean, that's cool in MMA.
I can take that he hates the enemy. Yeah, punish him, but don't tell me you don't like football. Like, hey, this is a Michigan product, and I know a lot of folks still got the jury out on Bam Bam Barham, but hey, rest assured, if he's the green dot leader of this defense, it's no question we got the steal of the draft.
Yeah, and Michigan players do well for other teams. We just kind of had a bad bad string of luck with a few of them. But mostly on the offensive. Well, no, defense too, like Mazzi's. I don't know, man. I think maybe this guy can be the exception. Again, there was also a few years where the talent coming into the NFL just wasn't that great. Teams. We just kind of had a bad. I think maybe this guy can be the exception. Again, there was also a few years where the talent. You got to repeat. What is that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was weird. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're going through it tonight, folks. We're doing it tonight, folks.
Yeah, we're going through all the technical difficulties we can in one show. But yeah, no, I was trying to clip back over while you were talking, and you know how Facebook, you don't put it on mute, and it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. We got the Saints visiting the Cowboys at the first home game of the season. You want to make sure and tap in. We might have a special guest, boots on ground member of our community, Bob, Army veteran. He hit me up, let me know he was there. He's like, where the OAT people at? BG, I'm boots on ground. So make sure and circle around after the show. Thank you, Terrence Plummer, for those 200 stars. We do appreciate everybody tapping in with us. You know, you could tap in somewhere, but you did tap in with us. And it's only 2, but we'll have the big 3 in the return of the preseason post-game finale, Bob, because guess what? We got the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football to kick the season off, baby, with the big 3.
Couple weeks, man. That's kind of crazy.
I know it's just gone by like that, man. I remember starting this countdown a few months ago, and it's like 250 some days. I'm like, it's a long ass time, but here we are. Cowboys could go 3-0 first time since 2006. Going to be interesting to watch, but more or so less, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to have them breakout games, who's going to make the conversations tougher, because you know some of these guys that are on the bubble, like we shared, that link is down in the comments below per DallasCowboys.com, the top 8. Although there are other folks, a lot of those names actually surprised me, and I think this camp competition, Bob, this culture like you were talking about with Shotty, is starting to manifest. We're starting to see this now. Now, how the one show up in New York, if we score 50 and shut out the Giants night 1, I might just drink the Kool-Aid week 1.
Yeah, I'm hoping also we get some really good luck conditioning with the way we treat our players and the way our players treat themselves. We've been. I'm trying to not say something directly, but we've been really lucky this offseason because some other teams have not, and we've been bit a lot, bro. We get bit more than others.
Some owners got caught spending $140 at trailer park. You know what I mean? It's been real bad for some teams out here. You know, bang bang Niner gang.
It's good shit, man.
Hey, just had to let them know, bro. Because you know, if it had been us, bro, they've been trying to interview Jerry Jones on CNN. You know it.
Yeah.
You know it. But y'all make sure and come back and circle the block and spend it with the big 3 for the post-game show. This has been a pregame show. That link is down in the comments below. I'm excited, been excited about this preseason. I'm excited to see who makes this 53-man roster. I will tap in on my personal profile for the halftime tap in. Then we'll be back here on Built Different Group. But thank you, all of our Facebook supporters, for making this happen. Thank you, LinkedIn, all of our veterans over there, Military Creator Con, and especially YouTube. YouTube showed up in the chat tonight, Bob.
Yeah. You got to love it, man.
Even
YouTube,
Top,
man,
look, Top switch hitting. He went from Facebook. Now he's on YouTube. Shout out to Top in the building. On YouTube, baby. YouTube showed up. But hey, that's Bob over there. I'm BG. We'll be back with Kales for the post-game show. So tap in. We'll see you after the Cowboys go 3-0 for the first time since 2006. Might
Sorry to
be
hear.
preseason champs. We might have to push over the Baltimore Ravens, say, move over, Bacon. There's something here leaner. We'll see you in the gym on the next episode.